What's happening? Shifter install today. Flip the camera around. Got the Z33, Z34 Shifter relocation bracket from GKTech. Some nice shiny aluminum bits over there. Pretty straightforward. They have their own install video, which is pretty funny. The guy has great commentary. Basically shows you step by step. I'll show you the regular old Joe way of doing things, and it's in the car versus out of the car, which everyone else does it out of the car. I guess I should have done it out of the car, but we'll see. Shouldn't be too hard. I've done worse. Okie dokie, so this is what we're working with. This is the bracket itself. This is the shifter collar, shifter knob collar, the entire shifter with the bushing down here, aluminum bushings, 2 short bolts, 2 long bolts. Long bolts go on the top of the bracket up here. The short bolts go into the bracket down here. The washers are for those. Here's the roll pin. They call it a spring pin. I call it a roll pin. And then the dog leg. So I'm gonna get underneath this car, show you exactly what it looks like, how to take it apart, and yeah, we'll go from there. Alrighty, hopefully you guys can hear me. We're underneath the car, obviously. CD009, back of the transmission. Here's the long shifter linkage. We're going to get rid of that. It's all going to come off. Here's the shifter boot with the drain hole right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to... where is it? There it is. That's what I'm looking for right there. Is that an Allen head? You know how cool it would be if that was an Allen head? I don't think it is, but yeah, we're going to take that little pin out, and that whole assembly is going to slide off the tail shaft. And we're going to put the other one on. The GKTech stuff. So yeah, let me go ahead and get this out real quick, and I'll be back. Alrighty guys, so here's the pin. One of them, there's 2 actually. There's a little tiny pin in this one, and inside of a bigger pin in this freaking thing. I used a small punch to get the small one out first, and then a bigger punch to get the bigger one out. So you can see, yeah, straight pain. Definitely go from the top side though, because this side's tapered out. You won't be able to get it. So we just take this off. Bada bang, bada boom, you know what I'm saying, man? And then we take this dust cover off, just like so. And then I'm gonna go get the other dog leg. That way we can mark it and cut this off a little bit, you know what I'm saying? A little weight reduction. Alright. Oh. Alright guys. So this is the dog leg. I got it held in there with a little screwdriver. Now let me take this out. Oh wow, that fell all the way through. Take this out, take the dog leg off, show you where I marked it. So you can see my marks. So what I'm going to use now is an angle grinder and lop that off. And then send that pin home, the new roller pin. And yeah, I will show you the aftermath of that. Coming along good. Alrighty guys, so it is cut. I don't know what Nissan makes that metal out of, but God almighty, it is hard. It took me a solid like 10 minutes to cut through that with my angle grinder. But yeah, so I didn't make the shortest cut, but I don't think it's going to affect it that much. Make sure you clean up the edges. But pretty much the whole point of doing that is just to see if I can, yeah, there we go. Just to get that shaft that protruded out down and flush. That way the actual shifter, it's a better look at it. The actual shifter didn't hit it. Now this is where the bushing sits and stuff like that. So let's put that pin in, that roller pin, in from the top. Make it drop. And then once we do that, oh, we gotta put the dust cover on before we do that. And then the actual bracket itself, the pretty bracket. And then yeah, all right. Alright, coming back from the top view So that's what dog leg looks like. There's that roll pin. Kind of pain in the rear to get in there, I'm not gonna lie. I had to start it in the actual dog leg and to put it onto the shaft and send it home. I know that they said in the video that you can use a pair of channel locks and send it home that way. Don't attempt it. Maybe if it was outside, yeah, sure, why not? But since I'm no, not gonna work. So let me take apart that thing over yonder, grease it, put it back together, and yeah. Alright, so a little different view now. Yeah. So we're just gonna take these nuts and washers off. They're only finger tight, so take this off real quick. And what that's going to do, that's going to allow you to take that adjustment plate off of the actual shifter shaft. Sandy picks up seashells by the seashore. Last nut, and then yada. Take the washers off, and then this plate will come off just like that. Set that off to the side. Now it's going to look like this. Take this out. This is a shifter. Okay. Now what you're going to do, take the spring out that's inside there. Remember the orientation. You're going to take a damn, first try, every try. Yes, perfect. I don't know the size of it, unfortunately, but you're going to take an Allen key. I'm sorry. I just need, take an Allen key, take these long bolts out. Super easy. But yeah, so today's Sunday for me. Hope you all are having a fantastic day. I'm having a pretty good day. I'm just hanging out in the garage with my son, working on my old project car, you know me. So you're going to take these completely out. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di. You can skip ahead if you want to. I'm not going to edit any of this, so, because I edit on my phone. You can't really edit that all that well. So now in the video they used a clear grease. I'm going to use just regular heavy duty extra grease that I use on my truck and my lift and stuff like that. So yeah, I gotta always keep an eye on that little one over there. Okay, alright, so that's one. Alright, so all of them are out. Now it's very important that you do this. You see this little notch right there? That's for your reverse lockout. Always make sure that's going to be, so if you're standing behind your transmission, make sure it's on the right hand side. So it's going to go in just like that. Okay? It's important. You don't want it like that. You don't want it like that. And you sure don't want it like that, because it's not going to work. You got to take it all apart. Do it all over again. So, to the right. Notch to the right. Just like that. So I'm going to put the bolts in here, and then put some grease in there. And then I think we can take this underneath the car and put it on. Alright, so got this all together. Got it torqued down to 6 foot-pounds. It's important. I got some good old grease in there. Yeah, let's go ahead and throw this up underneath the old car. You're going to need the short bolts, long bolts, and these spacers. Was it pre-CD009 or something like that? Use both of them. And after, you got a lot of room to work with down here. So I'm going to use both. Short washer or short spacer and big spacer. I'm going to use both just in case. And then adjust it. And I'll show you underneath there exactly what to do. But first, I'm going to go ahead and take this apart, because you got to take this apart and lube it. Because it does not come with any lubrication, and then this piece is like a plastic piece. It definitely feels plastic. So I'm going to go ahead and do this real quick. Pretty straightforward. if you have the kit, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Just make sure you put grease in there and then grease up the sides of this. And then most importantly, grease up the bushing. Put some grease down in there on that ball. That way you don't have any crude metal-to-metal contact. Alright, so I'm going to take care of that real quick and then hop underneath the car and show you what we're working with. Alright, so this is what it looks like. Got the bolts in there. And then the spacers I was talking about. I did use both of them. I'm in the, on the sides I'm in the top hole. There's the top and bottom hole. I'm in the top hole. So I got this all greased up, got that spring down in there. So you see that pin? That's your reverse lockout. So that's going to go to the right, alright? Because it can go in either way, just remember that. And then try to line up. What I'm trying to do is line up the bushing. Get the bushing down on in there. I might have to go underneath the car for that. Yeah, I'm going underneath the car. Be back. Alright, so once you get that bushing, I did fail to realize I didn't grease up the bushing, so I took it out and greased it. I did have to trim a little bit right here on the transmission tunnel, which is no big deal. But once you get it down in there, it should do that all nice and like. The transmission is in neutral, pretty positive. Alright, so what we're going to do here, so you notice that that square is a little off center. So this, the side with the thickest piece, is going to go on your reverse. It's going to go on the opposite side of the reverse lockout. Okay? And you can adjust it. So when you push down, push over, it's not going to, you have to be, whatever. You know what I mean. So we're going to put the supplied hardware back on here, snug it up, and then tighten up the 4 bolts that hold the bracket on there. Make sure that the bushing does not get hung up in the dog leg. And we will run through the gears real quick. Now, there is no, I think there's a torque specification for this, but I don't know. So I'm just going to do German spec, Guten tight. Hopefully I don't do righty loosey. I shouldn't, but yeah. Alrighty, we'll be back, or I'll be back, not we, and show you what it looks like. Pretty simple. Alrighty, ladies and gents, it's in tight. I'll go on the bottom, show you what it looks like from the bottom. Basically, you want to keep the bushing level, in neutral, level with the dog leg, and then tighten down these bolts. They're 13 millimeters. There's 4 of them, 2 down there and 2 up here. And then whenever you go to tighten this down, make sure. So what I did was, at first, I don't know what I did, but I had it all the way over. I didn't have it far enough this way, so I lost my 5th and 6th gear. So find neutral to where you can do this, okay? And then push down, go all the way to the right, and then back. That's going to put you into reverse, okay? Now adjust the plate accordingly to where it's not going to pop out, alright? So this is a CD009. So you're going to go to the left, forward is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? And then press down, over to the right, and back. That's reverse. Pretty simple, pretty easy. I love this kit. This kit is the best. I'm glad I saved up and I got it. So yeah, let me take you down underneath this heaping mess and show you what it looks like. All right, so this is what it looks like underneath. Now I think it's in neutral. Yeah, it's in neutral. So you just want to keep the top of the bushing even with the top of this dog leg. And then there is, you really can't see it. So there's that bottom hole. I went in the top hole. And then on the other side, yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, there's not a lot of room. I'm like stuffed underneath here. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this up right quick and get the stuff for the drive shaft, and we'll throw the drive shaft on. All right.